AVR, today's best country.
Jimmy Rankin joining me on the AVR Morning Show. Jimmy, you've been busy since the last time we've talked. You've been touring, writing, and recording. Did you get home to Nova Scotia anymore?
I get home as much as I can, but I think the last time I talked to you was probably about a year ago.
Yeah, and that's your last time in Nova Scotia?
No, I try to get there every summer and spend some time there in the summer, but I'm back and forth. I might be doing a show there, or a gig, a private function, or something like that. But I've been really busy and just working, touring, and now I have this new CD out. So.
Oh, and it's a great CD too. But I have to ask you, living in Nashville's got to be cool. What do you miss most about living in Mabou?
I haven't really lived in Mabou for many years. But I'm always I consider myself to be a Nova Scotia Cape Bretoner, but I get back there as much as possible. But if anything, one thing about living inland, I do miss the ocean. That's for sure.
I bet you do. Now, with this new single, "Here in My Heart," where'd you come up with that tune, Jimmy?
That's a tune I've been writing, co-writing songs with a person who's become a really good friend of mine for a couple of years now, by the name of Patricia Conroy. And Patricia had a career as a country artist in Canada, but now she's focusing her energy and time in Nashville on writing songs with people. And was in Nashville, it's a year or so back, I can't quite remember, but we started, we were working on a song all morning, and I was about to leave her place, and we started riffing on an idea, and geez, within a half an hour we had "Here in My Heart." So, yeah, I knew it was a good song right off the bat, so I played it. I've been playing it in my live shows ever since we wrote it, and people always respond to it.
Oh, I'm sure they do, Jimmy. Now, the big news on that song, not only you co-wrote it with Patricia Conroy, one of your buddies plays on that one. Who's on the song, and how long you guys been friends?
Well, you're talking about Keith Urban. He plays electric guitar, rhythm and lead guitar on it. And I met Keith at the CCMAs back in 2002 in Calgary, and he'd been listening to my CD "Song Dog" on his tour bus with his band, and wanted to say hi because I was at the CCMAs. So he was backstage, and we were on the same label at the time, EMI. And we said hi, and I'd never met him before, and it turns out he was this really super guy from Australia. And so ever since then, I keep bumping into him from time to time. And the last time I just arrived in Nashville. It was last March, and popped into a restaurant for a bite to eat after 4 days of driving. And there he was at the counter. So we said hi and exchanged phone numbers. And I was on the road after that. I was up in North Ontario with my sisters. We were doing a tour of Ontario. And I was listening to bed tracks for this CD and trying to decide who to use or what to use for a solo in "Here in My Heart." And I thought of Keith. I'd seen him play about a week before on TV, and the man is a scary talent. He just keeps getting better and better. So I called him up. I actually texted him, and he texted me back and said he'd love to play on the song. And so some months later in Nashville, both of us just happened to be in town at the same time, and he came into the studio and laid down a blistering solo, which really lends itself to the song.
Oh, it sounds really good. Now, I'm going to go back to 2002, way before this song, Jimmy. I was cruising YouTube about 20 minutes ago. There's all kinds of videos of you and Keith Urban playing on stage in Halifax in 2002.
Well, that actually wasn't 2002. That was another time I bumped into him. He was headlining Country Fest in Halifax. It's probably 3 years ago. I can't quite remember. It's about that, though, 2 or 3 years ago. And I was doing sound check, and he was in his tour bus and sent out his tour manager to ask me over to the tour bus. So we sat on the bus for a while talking about kids and music and what we've been up to, and And next thing I know, I'm on stage doing an encore with him after his set. So he's that kind of guy. He's just a super guy, very nice guy.
Now, do you plan on working with anyone else since you're living in Nashville now and all the big stars are there?
Oh, I don't know. It's an easy place to meet people. I've been so busy, but the thing about I've always liked collaborating with people, whether it's on stage, performing with people, or recording, or writing songs with people. So I think I'll always work with people, and this business is interesting, In my 20-year career, I've worked with so many people that I never even dreamed of working with or even meeting. So that's one of the exciting things about it. So I'll probably end up working with people always, especially in the recording. You never know, all aspects, even writing. I have a list of people I'd like to write with. But anyway, yeah, so that's one thing that you just never know, and I'm sure I'll be working with some interesting talents down the road.
Now, you're actually going to be in the Maritimes coming up this weekend. You're going to be in town for the ECMAs, and your CD is actually going to drop. Are you going to have a CD release party in Prince Edward Island?
Yeah, Saturday night. I'm doing a release party at, it's called the Mackenzie Room, I believe. I can't quite remember the name of it, but Saturday night, yeah. And you'll be hearing stuff from my new CD if you come on out to the show.
Well, it'll be good. Are you ready for the Fast and Furious 5?
Hit me.
All right, here we go. When you're in PEI for the ECMAs, are you going to eat surf or turf?
Both.
Your favorite car that you ever owned?
A Mercury Montego.
What's the last movie that you saw at the theater?
Oh, God. Avatar.
What's your favorite TV show?
The Deadliest Catch.
Really? Okay. And your favorite thing to do when you're back home in Nova Scotia?
Hang out with my kids.
Well, there you go. Jimmy, thanks for being on the show again, buddy.
My pleasure. Nice talking to you, Jerry.
All right, just give me a second there, Jimmy. We'll make sure everything's kosher.
APR, today's best country.